Greetings, brothers. Welcome to the Blood Angels Commander channel.
Perfect. Hello, good evening. Welcome to our Army List show. It goes out every Sunday night, or most Sunday nights. I missed last week, and as such, we have a crap load of member list submissions tonight. So, let me just move this onto my other monitor. 1 second. Cool. So yes, crap load of member list submissions. So that's we're focusing on members lists. If you're not familiar how this show works, is every week you submit your lists, you put them in the comment section of this video or another Army List show, ideally, and then you get maybe chosen, because I get too many list submissions, to be completely honest with you. I get more than I can handle in a week. So the priority goes to you beautiful people that support the channel with the green names. So tonight we're doing 7 lists with green names. I guess last week was my birthday, I wasn't here. So I must get like 3 or 4 list submissions every week from you beautiful people with the green names. You can hear me okay? Please someone sound check me, because no one's actually said they can hear me. So yeah, we're doing 7 members lists tonight. We'll be live for an hour and change, something like that. We try and do this every Sunday night. Non-members obviously can submit lists. You'll get reviewed normally, but at a slower pace. And the members, you do get permission. Cool, we're loud and clear. Thank you. Alright, let's get fired into it, because it's 7 lists. I was thinking that I was only going to be live for an hour. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's a lot of lists. All I hear is Scottish noise. Nice to see you too, Michael. Okay, Boris, 004. Interesting. Secret Agent Boris. Let's start the list with him. I like to read what's in the list first and then look at any comments afterwards, right? So I've got a bit of context. So we're playing Angelic Inheritors with Mephiston, cool character choice. An Apothecary, Biologist with Come Back to Life, I believe, on a 2-up. A Jump Pack Captain with the No Overwatch stratagem, and another Jump Pack Captain. Cool. Alright, we've got 1 big unit of Heavy Intercessors. I assume these will be with this Biologist. We have a unit of regular Intercessors. We have Intercessors with Jump Packs. We have Centurion Devastators. Okay, I'm trying to think why Centurion Devastators would be good in Angelic Inheritors. Like, you can't pick them up and put them back down. I suppose you do have rerolls of 1, but they already get that, Centurions. So it's just a big unit of Centurion Devastators. I mean, there's not much else that brings 6 twin-linked las cannons, is there? I mean, there's nothing else that brings that much firepower, really, except maybe like 2 Vindicator tanks. Big unit of Sangre Guard with blades. 2 small units with spears. And that's probably the way I would do it these days. Because it means the spear units aren't going to eat up any stratagem usage. You can still use your Red Rampage for lethals and +1 to wound on the spears. On the blades, and get more EP. So I think the big unit of blades makes sense. The smaller units of spears makes a lot of sense. Scouts. We then have a Land Raider now that they are cheaper. Okay. I mean, you can play a Land Raider in Angelic Inheritors. I don't suppose it's a super optimal choice, but you can do it. We also have an Annihilator, and then we also have an Impulsor. I assume the Impulsor needs to be for Intercessors. I don't see much else, actually, that goes in the Impulsor. Someone actually asked me, can Scouts go in an Impulsor? Someone asked me that in the comment section this week, and I'm not actually sure. Let me double check that. So it's an interesting question, actually. Transport. It can transport Tacticus or Phobos. Do Space Marine Scouts? I can't imagine they have Tacticus. No? So Scouts actually cannot go inside a Land Raider. Sorry, they cannot go inside an Impulsor, my bad. I didn't actually know that. I don't think I've ever put my Scouts inside the Impulsor, but maybe I have in one random-ass game. Alright, so that's the list. Mephiston, 2 Jump Captains, the Biologists, Heavy Intercessors, Regular Intercessors, Jump Intercessors, Centurions, 12 Sangre Guard, Scouts, Land Raider, Predator, Impulsor, interesting. Okay, Boris says, with that said, with the change to Sangregard, I'm altering my first Angelic Inheritor list with the new points increase and stat changes for upcoming online tournament. 2 captains leading 2 Sangregard units and 1 unled. The no Overwatch captain obviously leads the 6 blades, the other leading the 3-man with the spears. The biologist leads the heavy intercessors for higher toughness OC. They're carried by the Land Raider, and the Intercessor sticking home and then ferried by the Impulsor with Mephiston to get other objectives. I've been losing games mostly because I don't have enough ton to shift OC on objectives. With the Land Raider and the Tier 6 Heavy Intercessors and the +1 to damage on weapons while on the objective, and if they punch a unit, the Biologist gets to Strength 9. I think it's unlikely to see the Inheritors punch a unit to death with Strength 4, no AP on the Heavy Intercessors. I mean, I guess they got lethal hits, but I think the lack of AP really hurts them. 6-man Centurion Devastator squad pointing to something and killing it. They can use the Sustained strat. Oh yeah, I guess they can take Sustained strat. So they get Sustained, probably like Sustained on every missile launcher, and it's 6 missile launchers. Every las cannon as well, 6 las cannons. Let me know if you think this is good, or am I a crazy person? Which may be true regardless. Heavy Intercessors are Strength 4 in melee. I think you have to kill a unit in melee for the Gravis buff to come in from the Biologist, right? The Apothecary Biologists require... Yeah, if this model destroys an enemy unit as the result of a melee attack, he goes to OC 9. I mean, he's decent OC anyway, but yeah, Heavy Intercessor's melee is pretty bad. And it's not like the Sergeant has anything special. Like, killing a unit with this melee seems like a reach, right? It seems like it's unlikely to happen. Okay, so the Sangregard choices are good. Intercessors I obviously like. Heavy Intercessors, I feel like they're fine. Reroll hits and wounds of 1 because of the Apothecary leading them. You've got lethal hits. I mean, it's fine. It's not brilliant. A unit of Jump Intercessors, again, they're fine. Land Raider and Annihilator, they're okay choices. The Impulsor to ferry stuff around, Mephiston, the captains. I think the thing that stands out to me is it's going to require your Centurions are in great positions, right? Like, the reason, for me, my opinion is that 6 Plasma Inceptors is almost like an auto-include in Angelic Inheritors. By not having them, I guess you limit how you deal with heavy infantry. Now, you could argue that the Centurions can deal with heavy infantry, but it's really going to come down to where you're positioning the Centurions. Can they get firing lines? They only move 4 inches. There's no way for them to advance and fire either, am I right? There's no stratagem or anything in Angelic Inheritors that gives you advance and shoot. I don't think there is. I've been playing the detachment, I should know. Yeah, I don't think there is. I mean, giving them Sustained is cool, but I just think 4-inch move is kind of tragic. And that's why, obviously, the 12-inch move on the Inceptors and the fact that Inceptors can be picked back up for 1 CP as well. Why the Impulsor? You said the Impulsor was going to ferry around the Intercessors and get sticky objectives. I mean, that's an okay choice. You can't put the Jump Intercessors in the Impulsor anyway. So, I guess in this list, you put a unit of Sangregard, maybe the 6 in reserve. You put a squad of Scouts in reserve. You put the Jump Intercessors in reserve. So you've got like 2 units that can come and do scoring, 1 unit that can come and do killing. I mean, I'd almost be more tempted to put my Centurions inside the Land Raider, actually. They don't fit, do they? Because I might even split the Centurion squad. Do 3 and 3. Because I think that's the problem in this list. Like, I've played Centurions. 4-inch move is fucking terrible. No way to advance and shoot is also pretty bad. So if you can get line of sight with the Centurions every turn, great. But you're not going to have it for half the game every single time. And I think that is going to be the problem, right? Like, and I think this is why people run Vindicator tanks and Plasma Inceptors. You don't have to run that, but the mobility of the Plasma Inceptors and then the Strength 14 firepower from the Vindicator tanks, it's hard to match. Hello, Aradine. Yeah, I would split the Centurions. Right, like if these are the units you want to run, I would split the Centurions and I would put 3 of them inside the Land Raider. Because then at least I can drop them off where it's going to work. Are aggressors the way to go with the biologists? Probably. The aggressors are probably... They're obviously more expensive, but yeah, maybe probably. At least they're going to kill something in melee with like 18 Twin Link Power Fists, right? If you get 2 seconds tonight, if you could leave a like on the stream, that would be super appreciated as well. I see 45 people in here. I see 13 likes. So, yeah, they're rookie numbers. The likes are indeed rookie numbers. Great minds think alike. So your characters are totally fine. The Sangre Guard is totally fine. The Scouts is fine. The Land Raider and Predator Annihilator are not optimal, but hey, the Land Raider is 20 points cheaper, so you might as well take it now. A lot of, like, 330 points in Centurions, which I cannot see this just being better if it was just the Plasmas. But, I mean, if you're dead set on running 5 Centurion Devastators, go for it. I'm actually surprised you have the models. Not too many Blood Angels players have 5 Centurion Devastators. I only ever bought 3 Centurions, and mine are the Assault variant. Okay. I'm going to move on to Rastordus Quick 686. Hi, Commander. Liberator Assault Group. We've got a Jump Captain with 6 Angry Guard, 2 Infernos, Banners, and Spears. Interesting to take Spears right off the bat with a 6-man. We've also got another Jump Captain, 6 Banners and Blades. He's going to take Oath of Moment, because he's going to Red Rampage for free, and he's going to Rage. So that's once per game, sustained hits 3, right? We've got Lamartes with the Death Company, 2 Fists, Infernal, and Fists and Plasmas, Chainswords, Eviscerators, Chainswords. Since they reroll hits, I try and play them to be on an objective targeted by the Combi Weapon Lieutenant, so you can get reroll wounds of 1. I'm very hesitant to use Astaroth. Yeah, I mean, I think Lamartes is the more common pick. I think when you reroll hits and you have lethal hits, that adds a lot of value, right? Because, like, a 6 of your rolls are 6s anyway, and then another 6th of your rerolls, which is all the 1s and 2s. I should be able to do that in my head. 1s and 2s would be 33%. 16% of that would be another 5. So yeah, when you've got lethal hits and you've got rerolls, you're basically auto-wounding 20% of the time. So, I mean, Lamartes is just very good. 20% auto-wounds, give or take. Maybe actually it would be like closer to 21%. But 21% auto-wounds, lots of attacks coming out, -1 damage as well, obviously. You got the Combi Weapon Lieutenant. You've got a Tech Marine. The Tech Marine is the best unit at its points cost. He's a great unit if a vehicle dies near him. Before that, not so much. You've got 3 units of Jump Intercessors, you've got a unit of Infiltrators, you've got a Suppressor Squad, which we don't see too often, and then we've got Double Vindicator Tank, right? Like, yeah, Double Vindicator Tank is kind of like... Space Marines are carried a little bit this edition, I feel like, with Double Vindicator Tank. I have dropped it a couple of times, and I always seem to find my way back to it. Even though they're like up in points from where they were, I still think they're very good. So what are the options on this list? You could trade some suppressors, plus 5 jump pack intercessors for a Lancer. I mean, if you've already got 2 Vindicator tanks, I don't think you need any more firepower. You could remove 3 Sangre Guard with Blades for either an Invictor. I wouldn't take an Invictor Warsuit. A Baal Predator, or a Hunter to help out the Vindicators. I mean, I think with Liberator Assault Group, 2 6-man units of Sangre Guard, both of them have the potential of +1 to wound. I think that's great. The Lamartes squad comes in as well. The 3 little units. I probably try and keep that, right? Like that's arguably like, that's Liberator Assault bread and butter. It's just like tons of damage output, and then this is Liberator Assault bread and butter as well. Like it's just cheap, it's decent, and it'll score points, right? And you can there's a YouTuber called Paul is Bad at Stuff, and he runs 18 Centurions. Like Devastator Centurions, or like a mix Aradine. Man, I can't even imagine making 18 Centurions. That kit was a nightmare, right? You could get rid of the suppressors and get Outriders. I mean, you could argue that you get rid of the suppressors and get like Impulsor. I really like Impulsors in Liberator Assault Group. I think they're very good. You could also do the thing that we were talking about in the last list, where you have intercessors and you stick the home field objective and then you just push forward. I mean, this list wants to be pushing forward. If you desperately need to leave a unit on your home field objective, you could leave a unit of jump intercessors. Or you could push everything forward and leave a unit of jump intercessors in reserve, and if it looks like your opponent's going to go after your home field objective, drop one unit back there. Personally, I'm not big on Lancers, and I'm not big on Suppressors. I've played both of them multiple times. I don't think they're good enough. I don't think a Lancer ever outperforms a Vindicator tank. Like, the amount of times I've been in games and I'm like, that Vindicator tank is my MVP this game, right? Like, he has just killed so much stuff. I don't think I've ever said that about a Lancer, right? Usually a Lancer is lucky to kill one enemy vehicle. And then I think the other thing is like suppressors. Like, I've never once looked at a unit of suppressors and be like, that suppressor unit has been really useful this game. I think for me, maybe suppressors is just their sheer lack of durability. Like, it's 3 guys with 2 wounds each and toughness 4. Like, they have literally no durability. So yeah, I'm not a fan of. So if I had to change something, I think I would change the suppressors. I'm also not huge. Like, I don't know if I feel like you need a Tech Marine, but I guess you could use them as a lone operative. But like, typically when I take a Tech Marine, I feel like I need 3 vehicles to get value out of Tech Marine. I guess you could say you're getting some value because he's going to do lone operative stuff. And Vindicator tanks usually can survive 1 turn, so he can usually get some repairs going. I just don't know if I feel like you need him, right? Maybe, yeah. But that seems like the 2 options. Or one option is the suppressors and 1 unit of jump and assault intercessors. When I was playing Liberator Assault Group, I had a really good list back earlier this year, and my list had an Impulsor. It only had 2 units of jump assault intercessors. And I think it had some Blade Guard. So, like, could I be tempted to lose, like, a unit of Jump Assault Intercessors and a unit of Suppressors for an Impulsor with some Blade Guard? Yeah, 100%. Because that gives me a tank I can drive onto an objective early in the game with an invulnerable save. If they do destroy it, they'll need to put a lot of firepower into it. And then if they destroy it, I'll pile out my Blade Guard and I'll still score the objective. And again, that'll be another unit on the objective. 3 wounds a model, 4 up in Vun. Not super easy to remove. It just gives me another option, right? Like, quite often in Blood Angels, if you go first, let's assume your opponent's hiding all their units. And they're staged quite far back. Because they're probably going to do that if you're playing against Liberator Assault Group. Like, people know Liberator Assault Group has advanced and charge. People are expecting you to try and get in for the charge as soon as possible. I mean, that detachment literally only does damage on the charge, right? Like, if you're stuck in combat, that detachment does no damage. So people are expecting you to charge in Liberator Assault Group. So if you go turn 1 and there's no charges on, what the fuck are you going to do? You're going to have to put something in the open to take an objective. Now, you could say that's going to be your combi weapon lieutenant, but then there could be an argument that, like, they have ways of dealing with your combi weapon lieutenant. I know he has a reactive move, but some armies can just deal with that, right? Like, the reactive move is, like, what is it? It's, enemies finish a normal, fallback, or advance within 12, within Within 9, yeah? So if they roll a transport 9.1 inches away and disembark a unit of Plague Marines or something within 3 inches out, then they're only 6 inches from your guy, and you don't get to use your reactive move because they didn't finish. A disembark doesn't count as a normal move or a fallback or an advance. So if you have to get on an objective in turn 1, you go first. You're playing against something like Tau, Death Guard, something that's got a lot of firepower. You need something that you can just drive onto an objective and sit there and say, yeah, you can shoot me, but I'll probably still hold this objective, right? And that's where the Impulsor comes in. And that's what I would change in that list and put that Impulsor in. Because without it, I don't know what you put on the objective. You put a unit of Sangry Guard on the objective, well, they'll just kill your Sangry Guard. You just lost so many points. Like, we don't have anything, even like heavy intercessors, right? Like, the Impulsor, like, I would say often, almost every game, I will lose an Impulsor turn 1. But usually it will have like rolled onto that objective and got me some like 5 points for extend battle lines. And then the unit will spill out and hold me 5 points for primary. So it's like I'm paying 80 points to almost guarantee 10 points in the early game. I think it's well worth it, right? Disembark, the unit counts as having made a normal move. I don't think it counts for reactive moves, Phil. Like, I think a disembark move is not... Yeah, the unit counts as having made a normal move, but you haven't finished a normal move, right? So you are allowed to... If the enemy disembark within your 9 inches reactive, you're not allowed to reactive move against that. Impulsors can carry Tacticus or Phobos only. Devastators and Tactical Squads do not either of these keywords and cannot go in the Impulsor. Yeah, Devastators are... I think Devastators are going to Legends. Yeah, there's definitely a few ways that his reactive move can be countered, which is a little bit annoying. I mean, I still think the Combi Weapon Lieutenant is great, but I think that it's handy to have the Impulsor, right? Like, it's just really handy to have the Impulsor. All right, Nelcros is our next list for tonight, and he said, hi, here's my list. Let's read the list and come back to his comments. We've got Dante, we've got a Fishing Devwound Captain with a Power Fist. Yeah, I was thinking for a minute, how does he get Dev Wounds? So he's Dev Wounding with the Gift of Foresight, not the Rage. We have a Speed of the Primarch Chaplain with Blade Guard, cool. We have a Librarian and Terminator Armor with Sustained. And then we have the Combi Weapon Lieutenant. Okay. 5 Intercessors, 3 Aggressors, 6 Blade Guard, 6 Sangry Guard, a 3 and a 3. Spears and Spears. 5 Stern Guard. Do you know, I think if you're running Stern Guard, I really think you want... Oh, well, they're going to be in an Impulsor, aren't they, with the Captain? I was going to say you really want 10, but I guess that's... The plan is to put them with the Captain and go fishing for Dev Wounds. You've got a Terminator squad with Cyclones and Bolters. You've got an Outrider squad. You've got 2 Ballistus Dreadnoughts. You've got that Repulsor Executioner and an Impulsor. Okay, this is an interesting list. I've made a change to this list to remove Dante for a Jump Captain. It allows me to throw Rage Fuel Warrior on the Blood Angels Captain with a Stern Guard. Something swingy that may do well or may not. So this is just another Blood Angels Captain, or a Jump Captain, I guess. And this is now Rage for 35 points. Man, they made that so expensive. Alright, evening Nelcros. Thanks for tuning in on chat. Okay, what do I like? I mean, I like the Fight First Blade Guard with +1 to wound. That's good in this detachment. Both units of Sangry Guard are Spears, which is nice. I guess that gives you permanent +1 to wound on the charge. I feel a little sad you don't have a 6 Sangry Guard, because I honestly think they're our best unit. You got Librarian with the Terminators. I personally think that the librarian is eclipsed by the chaplain. And the reason he's eclipsed by the chaplain is the chaplain is +1 to wound and melee all the time. And if you fight something like knights, where you're wounding on 5s, the extra sustained hits does not make up for the +1 to wound. So I ran this librarian in Terminator armor, personally, thinking he was going to be cool with the Terminators. I played against Death Guard. Their whole fucking army is toughness 9 or higher. My Terminators just bounced off everything. And during that game, I just wished that my librarian with Terminator armor was a chaplain with Terminator armor. Because I just think that's better. He also gives them a feel no pain against mortal wounds. So that's a question that I guess you'll need to answer, right? Like, I do think the chaplain is a better option, unless you're willing to play the +1 to wound stratagem on him all the time, Red Rampage. But I think you've got other things you're going to want to use Red Rampage on, like probably your captain, probably your aggressors. So, hi John, here's my list for a coming up list. What I want to do is run into my friend's Imperial Knights for my first 2,000 point game. It's unconventional, but this is all I've got. I've been collecting off meta and scoring deals on models I best I could. I put some notes near the units, my initial thoughts and plans from your previous answers to others. I understand 2 or 3 knights need to be taken down a turn is ideal. Yes, that is very ideal, but if you have any other tips to using as efficient as possible, I'd greatly appreciate it. Always love what you do. I appreciate the kind comments, Nelcros. I really do. Yeah, you're gonna Voro Hammond. Thank you so much for subscribing. We're gonna. Yeah, I feel like you really need to make one of these. If you're playing against knights, you really need one of these Sangre Guards to be a 6. Because if you're playing against big knights, you're only going to be killing a big knight with a unit of 6 Sangre Guard. 3 Sangre Guard and the captain are not going to deal enough damage to a big knight. They'll take half its wounds. You need the 6. I would also put the 6 with the blades and assume that you're going to be paying your stratagem for Red Rampage on that unit of 6. So if you're going to be paying your stratagem of unit on the 6 every turn, you're really going to want to have units that get +1 to wound and stuff like that on the other turns, right? And the units that are going to get, like, and I think that's why the librarian with the Terminator armor would be better as a chaplain in Terminator armor. If you don't have the models yet, not a problem. I mean, like, just put this on your shopping list. It's Christmas soon. Your wife, your family, you know, tell them that you don't want chocolates for Christmas. You need a Games Workshop voucher because you need to get your army list on the table, right? Like, it's very simple to get Games Workshop vouchers. Why is no one using biologists with fight first and 6 aggressors coming out of a Land Raider, Redeemer, or Crusader? Says Mark Crow. That's a good question, I suppose. I think aggressors were nerfed, weren't they? Because they used to cost a lot more in points. So maybe now they're back at 200 points for 6. You might see that. I mean, the biologist is still pretty expensive. And then by the time you add the Land Raider, the 6, they only fit in a Redeemer as well, right? They don't fit in the regular Land Raider because the regular Land Raider only takes 12. They need the Redeemer capacity of 14. So by the time you take a Redeemer and 6 aggressors and a biologist, you're 550 points. That's why and then you take the fight first enhancement for another 25 points. So you're 575 points. I think we just answered your question why no one is taking that right there is because it's 575 points. I mean, it's not bad, but you could do like 2 Vindicator tanks and like 6 Plasma Inceptors. That's probably going to, like, that's probably going to be able to do just as much, if not more damage, right? Yeah, so I feel like Terminators at the moment are a somewhat quirky pick in that, like, the rules aren't great. You're picking them because you like Terminators. The aggressors are fine. I guess you put the aggressors inside the Executioner, the Blade Guard inside the Impulsor. One unit, the small unit Sangre Guard with Spears. Yeah, I really think you need the 6-man Sangre Guard with Spears, and you really... you're going to have to cut something to make that happen, I guess. What do you need? Like 135 points. It's a lot, isn't it? The Terminators are probably your weakest unit there. We don't see them typically in Liberator Assault Group, and I mean the reason we don't see them is because they're not seen as massively competitive. They're not super durable, they're not super fast, their weapons are not optimal. The only other way, if you really want to hang on to the Terminators, you can lose the Aggressors and your Librarian. You can make the Sangry Guard into that 6-man, and then you've maybe got like 40 points left, which would get you like a Blade Guard Ancient. He won't fit in the Transport with the Blade Guard, because unfortunately the Transport only holds 7, but he could become an Action Monkey. I think he's the... If you only have 45 points left, I think the only thing you can have is the Blade Guard Ancient. He's a 4-wound model with a 4-up invuln save. You just throw him in reserve. I've taken him to a tournament before. Like, I took him to a tournament not leading Blade Guard. He's just on his own. The only reason I found out he was a 4-up in save on that was because I had to... Someone shot like a las cannon at him, and I was like, oh, let me check. I don't even know what he's got. So even though he isn't holding the shield, I guess he keeps the 4-up save. So he's just like a 45-point model that can do actions, right? Or he could do a bit of screening. He's got a bolt pistol. Oh, correction. It's a heavy bolt pistol. Watch out. Yeah, so I think I would try and get your squad of Sangry Guard to 6. I think the Terminators are ripe for cutting. Be it their character or be it the whole unit. I actually think Aggressors might actually be pretty useful into Knights. But I think the Aggressors, they're gonna be wanting your Oath of, not your Oath of Moment, your Red Rampage. I think that's the trick with Liberator Assault Group, is like if you're playing against Knights, you just need lots of chaplains, because get me the bolt pistol, the heavy bolt pistol. Yeah, I played against Knights at a tournament like it was like, yeah, like 18 months ago, and I beat them. I beat them with Sons of Sanguinius, which was similar to Liberator Assault Group, and it was really come down to I had chaplains everywhere, because chaplains giving me +1 to wound was the difference between like wounding on 5s and wounding on 4s. And I think when you have a unit wounding on 5s, although wounding on 4s is only 1 dice roll less, you can spike positively on wounding on 4s, right? You ever do that at the table where it's like, I need to make 14 4-up invuln saves, and you roll it and you make like 13 of them. Like I feel like I do that quite often. It's like, oh god, I've got to take 14 4-up saves. Bang, there's 13 4-up saves, right? But when you're wounding on 5s and you've got like 14 dice, you never roll that and you're like, oh, I did 13 5-ups. It just doesn't happen. You get like 5 at best, right? So I think the difference between maybe Liberator Assault Group doing well into Knights and doing badly into Knights really comes down to efficient use of +1 to wound. If I need to make 14 4-ups, I feel like 10 of them. Yeah, I mean, it happens both ways, Mike. But I guess my point is that you can spike 4-ups. You cannot spike 5-ups. Like, it just doesn't happen. Whereas 4-ups, for some reason, are spikeable, right? I mean, you don't really want to be winning or losing games on, like, a spikeable 4-up. But, like, when you get to those top tables at tournaments, the margins can be so small that, like, that is the difference between winning and losing in a GT, right? Like, first and second place. It can literally come down to 1 roll. And in my GT, it did come down to 1 roll, the one that I won. And it was like, you need to make 7 4-up saves on Dante and you win the game. Bang, there's 7. You know? If that had been 5-up, it was like, I probably wouldn't have even rolled that. I'd just be like, yeah, you win the event, well played. On a 4-up, it's possible. All right, Hadley's is our next list. He is playing Liberator Assault Group. He's been subscribed to the channel for 3 years. Dude, thank you so much for 3 years of membership, dude. I forget how old this channel is sometimes. Like, it's... Because I started this channel during COVID. It's over 5 years now, and, like, it doesn't feel like 5 years. It's weird. Anyway, here's a list for GTs. Any advice would be great. The Death Company captain is one hell of a drug. I haven't really given this Death Company captain. I tried him like one time. Maybe I need to try him again. Yeah, good luck in your game against Knight, Nelcros. I think here's the thing though, right? Like I always say to people when I give you my 2 cents on the list, I always think it's a good idea to play a list a few times and then find out what's underperforming, because if you cut something, like if you play one game and you're like, oh, that's underperforming, it might just be one set of bad dice rolls. So I always try and I recommend you play your list a few times before you just wildly change things. And then even when you do change things, I recommend changing small things one at a time. How are some assault intercessors with a chaplain versus knights? I don't see a lot of assault intercessors in lists you discuss for lag for some reason. Hey Thomas, you know, not too many people play like assault intercessors with chaplains, be it jump variants or foot variants. And I actually think both variants are okay, but I think they're just okay because I think it comes down to the fact that they're just AP 1. I think that's probably the biggest weakness. So maybe against knights that's not a problem, you know, like 3-up, 4-up, AP1 is sort of perfect. But that there is other armies where AP1 is not that great, and maybe that's why we don't see them, because if people have a way to counter AP1, I generally feel like I have a lot of assault intercessors, jump variant and foot variant, and I find myself not running very many of them at all. I think it just comes down to lack of weapon options and the low AP. Like, I run them more as a scoring unit than a killing unit. So, I mean, the chaplain does help a lot. We just don't see it. Alright, what is this? This is Liberator Assault Group. Captain with a jump pack with Fight First. Death Company jump pack captain. A Judiciar, and then a combi weapon lieutenant. So we get 2 Fight First here. We've got a unit of intercessors. We've got 3 units of jump intercessors. You see, that's typically what happens. Everyone just takes 3 units of 5 jump intercessors. Because they're so cheap at 90 points, they just jump a unit in, try and do a little bit killing, try and flip an objective. If they die, they don't care because they're so cheap. They do the exact same thing next turn. We then have 5 Blade Guard up at 170 points now. We've got the 10 Death Company Marines with jump packs. We've got the double Lancer. We've got Inceptors with bolters. I think I much prefer plasmas on Inceptors personally. I just think that lets you deal with elite infantry, and bolters really don't. Like I've been playing like this week I played against Votan, where the guy had, what was it, like 30 Steeljacks? Well, Steeljacks are like 2-up save, toughness 6. Like, bolter Inceptors do nothing against that. At least plasma Inceptors 3 damage a model, killing a guy with every failed save. Infiltrators, 2 units of Sangre Guard, both with spears, scouts, and that's the list. Yeah, do you know, I think 9, like in general, like a general point of view, I think 9 Sangre Guard is the right number of Sangre Guard. I personally play a 6 and a 3. I have played the 3 units of 3 in... So, I'm trying to think what I've played. Like, so I was playing 6 Sangre Guard and 3 Sangre Guard in Liberator Assault Group. Then I was playing 3 units of 3 in Angelic Inheritors. Now I'm playing 3 and 6 in Angelic Inheritors. In my personal opinion, is Sangre Guard are one of the most killy units that we have. Probably the most, actually. And I think 9 is the perfect number. And I would start 3 on the board, and I would put 6 in reserve. However you attach characters is your opinion, But that's how I will play my Sanguinary Guard in every game going forward. I've tried the small squads of 3. I think they're good, but sometimes I feel like 3 are not enough to get the job done. And you could argue that in some lists you would have 2 Vindicator tanks, so you could blow a lot of stuff off the table with the Vindicator tanks, and then follow it up with the small units of 3 Sanguinary Guard. But sometimes I feel like some opponents just have a big nasty squad where 3 Sanguinary Guard are just not going to cut it. And in that case, that's why I think every single one of my lists at the moment is going to run 3 and 6. 2 units of Scouts is cool for scoring. Infiltrators is good for home field objective. 2 Lancers gives you good range firepower. Blade Guard with Judasar for fight first. The Death Company Captain with Sustained. The 3 units of Jump Intercessors. The other unit of Intercessors. Yeah, so I think in general, do I swap the Inceptors for a 3-man? Well, I think in general, when I look at your list, right, like I look at multiple units, the Death Company, the Blade Guard, all these Jump Assault Intercessors. Probably they all want Red Rampage, right? And I think that's so like if we just use Knights or Death Guard as an example, I mean the unit of Sanguinary Guard with Spears and the Captain is nice, but I think you need the 6-man unit. So I think it comes down to like all the units in of themselves are fine choices. But like, what happens when you come into an army where the whole army is T9 or higher, right? Because Assault Intercessors don't deal with that. Blade Guard don't deal with that. Death Company deal with that slightly. Like, the Power Fists in that unit and the Eviscerators might be able to help, but they might also struggle. The Inceptors don't deal with that. The Sanguinary Guard do, but you've not got enough of them. And then the Scouts don't deal with it, right? So, but like, in general, 2 Scouts for scoring, 2 Lancers for fire support, Inceptors for holding your home field, Intercessors for sticky. I think I would also like an Impulsor. I mean, I talked about it earlier in the stream, how useful I feel an Impulsor is. So, like, I don't think I'm playing Liberator Assault Group again without an Impulsor. I actually don't think I'm playing Angelic Inheritors either without an Impulsor. I just think they're too valuable for early game. Like, anytime I don't have an Impulsor, I'm just, like, looking around, like, what unit do I want to lose in turn 1? I mean, I've done it before with Outriders, but, like, it's quite often you put Outriders onto an objective in turn 1 and they just die anyway, right? Ammo says, there is any point in taking Death Company Marines normal with bolt guns? No, there's no point in taking that unit at all. They're tragic. They're worse than regular Intercessors. If you made Death Company Marines with bolt rifles, just run them as regular Intercessors. Do I swap the Inceptors for a 3-man? I have 5 left. I don't get quite enough with the 15 attacks. Yeah, I'd probably do something like that. You're right. Yeah, get rid of 1 unit of Jump Intercessors. Take an Impulsor. Get rid of maybe the Inceptors. Make that squad of Sanguinary Guard a 6. If you're out of points at that point, I'd probably look at, like, there are cheaper options than Scouts. One of which could be, oh, I forget the, is it the, I was going to say that there is other cheaper options than Scouts. Let me think. Henchmen? Imperial Henchmen? Codex Imperial Agents. I mean, you could run Voidsmen. Oh no, they're 70 points now. I'm sure there was Henchmen or something that were like 50 points. I was thinking of buying a squad of them actually. just because it's options for cheap shit. Suppose you could do a Tech Marine. You've got double Lancer. It's not going to be the worst idea. What is the name of that squad? Oh, I think it's this. Inquisitorial Agents, right? They're 50 points. Sure of it. Yes. 5 Inquisitorial Agents and a Gun Servitor is 60 points. Yeah, that's how you could do it. No one has these, but I was thinking of buying a squad of them. Inquisitorial Agents. So this is what they look like. And what's their data sheet look like? They're like toughness 3, 5 up save, 1 wound. You get 5 of them. They're not going to be led by anything, so that's irrelevant. They have 1 Tomb Skull, whatever the fuck that does. Alright, it lets you prevent a battle shock or something. They have 1 Mystic Staff, which is like a anti-infantry 4 staff. They have 1 guy with an Eviscerator. Okay, devastating wound Eviscerator. Better Eviscerator than Space Marines. They're complete. They have a hobo with a shotgun. Who's got the shotgun? I mean, this is a heavy bolter, I think. I think you'd actually give them a multi-melter. Let me make this correct. Any number of gun servitors can have their heavy bolt. Yeah, you can take a multi-melter or a plasma cannon. I don't even know what stats a plasma cannon would have these days. Oh, it's crap plasma cannon. But you could take a multi-melter. It's not the worst idea on a 60-point unit. So 5 guys, 5 up save, 1 multi-melter, 1 plasma pistol, 1 mystic staff, 1 eviscerator, 60 points. That would fill up the rest of your list. You know, just when you don't have enough points for a unit of scouts. You'd have 5 of these numbnuts. Does the gun servitor have a profile? Like does it count as a model? Does it count as 1 guy? I don't know. I was thinking of, because I bought Voidsmen, but obviously Voidsmen have gone up to 70 points, the same as the scouts, and the point of having them was to have a cheaper unit, right, that you could put into a list. And Voidsmen don't do anything anyway. They got like 5 guys with las guns, so this is better. So that's what I would recommend. I think 9 Sanguinary Guard is the right number. Alright, Kevin Sim is our next list. He's doing Liberator Assault Group. He's got a Rage Captain on foot. He's got a Captain in Gravis Armor with Fight First. He's got a Jump Captain with Gift of Foresight. So all like 100 points in relics here or something. It's crazy. Squad of Intercessors. You've got 6 aggressors. So these aggressors are probably going to be Fight First. You've got... Someone was asking about Fight First aggressors. Well, there you go. Gravis Captain aggressors. Fight First. Jump Assault Intercessors. 6 Sanguinary Guard Blades. 3 Sanguinary Guard Spears. 3 Sanguinary Guard Spears. I like the combo. 5 Scouts. 5 Stern Guard. They'll be the Rage Captain, the Outriders, the Double Ballistus, a Repulsor, and an Impulsor. Alright, this is quite a well-rounded Liberator Assault Group list, right? He went with cheaper aggressors with a Fight First. And also they're a big Overwatch threat with the Flamers. So I guess the aggressors with Fight First are in the Repulsor. Oh, well, I mean, I guess that's a cheaper way of doing it, right? Because the Repulsor is obviously cheaper than the Land Raider. I would prefer it if it's a Land Raider, but I guess you're paying 40 more points for that. You've got 2 Ballistuses and you've got the Impulsor, so you've got something you can stick on an objective early. Inside the Impulsor, you've got that Rage Captain with the Stern Guard, you've got the aggressors with the Fight First, you've got the 12 Sanguinary Guard, you've got a trading unit of Assault Intercessors, you've got sticky objectives, you've got a unit of Outriders. Yeah, you know, I feel like this is actually it's certainly not a meta Liberator Assault Group list. You're welcome, Hadley. Thank you for dropping the list in. Thanks for subscribing for 3 years as well, dude. It's crazy. Yeah, this is definitely not a meta Liberator Assault Group list, but I feel like it's got a lot of tools to it, right? Like, you're going to run an Impulsor and a Repulsor forward. You're going to back it up with some Ballistus Fire support. You've got a unit of Outriders if you need to get down a flank or something. You've got the Stern Guard Captain. You've got a unit of Scouts for scoring. You've got a unit of Jump Intercessors that could also do scoring. You've got that unit of 6 Sangry Guard plus a character we can start in reserve and we can give free red Rampage to. We've got 2 units of Spears. We've got a big unit of Fight First Aggressors. I mean, I kind of like it. I haven't seen something like this, but I'm trying to see where the flaw is, but like I'm not really seeing it. Um 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I mean, it's got 12 drops. I mean, I think that's possibly the only weakness. Is like, it's kind of low in drops. But, I mean, you're bringing a good number of las cannons. You're bringing a good number of Sangry Guard. You bring in the aggressors with the flamers. There's very good Overwatch potential. I like it. I don't think there's too much I would change. I feel like I could actually play this list, actually. I mean, if you're trying to stay away from Vindicator tanks, I think this is a good option. I don't think 2 Ballistuses on their own are enough firepower. I don't think a Repulsor on its own is enough firepower, but I guess when you put all 3 of them together, you possibly just get into that region, but the nice thing about it, you still have 12 Sangry Guard, and you still have 6 Aggressors, which is a lot of killing potential, and then also the Rage Captain. I like it, Kevin. I would play this. I need you to let me know how you get on with it, because I'm not playing Liberator Assault Group at the moment, but I think it seems pretty decent. I mean, typical Liberator Assault Group, right? We come back to the double Vindicator tank, but it is nice to build lists without double Vindicator tank. I do think that Space Marines have an over-reliance on double Vindicator tank as it stands, right? So, yeah, I think it's cool. I don't know what... I don't know how to improve it. I don't know what I would change. I hadn't actually considered the Fight First Aggressor block with Flamers. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's the one thing. I would have liked a Land Raider, because then your aggressors could have charged after they disembarked the Land Raider. You need to find 40 points to do that. The only way I can think you could do that is if you could swap those Stern Guard to just regular Assault Intercessors. Freeze up 25 points. So you need to find 15 more points. I don't know how else you could find 15 points, though. Oh, well, maybe you just get rid of Gift of Foresight and do that. Land Raider is much better than the Execution. Yeah, okay, that's my change. Yeah, I made it better. I say that having never played the list. I'm like, yeah, I've just made that better. Yeah, I would change the Repulsor for a Land Raider, because there's only 40 points more now. To get those 40 points, I would cut this out, make it a unit of Assault Intercessors on foot, and I would cut out your Gift of Foresight enhancement. Because Land Raider's bringing 4 las cannons and a multi-belta and a twin link bolter, which I think is more... It is more firepower than the Executioner. I did a video a few weeks ago that shows the Land Raider is massively more survivable than the Executioner, and you can charge after Land Raider's moved, which gives your aggressors essentially a 10-inch move. And 10-inch move, 3 disembark and a charge. Humble John strikes again, yeah. Evening Master Dolphins. CQ Bot has... Does anyone know if my list has been discussed? So, CQ Bot, you are a grey name, which means you are unfortunately further back in the queue. People with green names, i.e. they support the channel every month on Patreon, or they support the channel by clicking the join button underneath on YouTube. Green names get priority in the queue. I didn't do a show last week, so every single list in tonight's episode is green names, because you guys are what make the channel tick over. Essentially, this is like a second job for me, right? So... I basically prioritize people with green names. It doesn't mean your list will not be on the show. It just means that people in the green names jump to the front of the queue. So your list will get covered at some point, but that's how the Sunday night thing works. I only have limited time. All right, so Lord Commander Dante. Do Twitch subs get priority as well? I don't know, because I actually don't really know too much about Twitch subs, Master Dolphin. I don't know if I can see Twitch subs. Like, how do I know people are... Yeah, I know how people are subscribed on YouTube as a member. I know how people are Patreon members. I don't know how to see who's subscribed on Twitch. Apparently I got 30 gifted on Twitch last week as well, and I was like, I don't even know who gifted them. The Twitch backend isn't as useful. Like, yeah. So whoever gave me 30 gifted on Twitch last week, I do appreciate it. I don't know who it was. Maybe it's an error in the back end, but it did say like I've got 30 gifted subs or something. I was like, what? All right, Lord Commander Dante. That's the name of the guy that submitted the list. That's not isn't actually the real Dante submitting the list. All right, he's playing Inheritors. He's got 2 jump pack captains. He's got a chaplain on foot, a jump chaplain, Mephiston, a combi weapon lieutenant with comeback to life, and a sanguinary priest. Seems like a lot of characters. We've got 1 unit of intercessors and the impulsor. We've got 5 jump intercessors, 6 blade guard, 2 squads of plasmas, you know, I was going to say, that's interesting to split them up, I guess. I guess if you split them up, the sustain stratagem isn't as good. I haven't been having too much luck with that sustain stratagem, to be honest with you. Bloodlines, dude, thank you so much.
L00DLINES donated $20 via Super Chat.
He doesn't even have Dante in his list. Yeah, Bloodlines, I love you. I love your support, dude. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you. Super chats help the world go round, I feel like. Yeah, I guess if you play them as 6, you do not get the ability to use the sustain strat. I'm trying to think how valuable the sustain strat is on the Inceptors. Because I keep using the Inceptors, and I feel like when I use the sustain strat, I only end up with like 1 or 2 more hits. It's 12 attacks. You shoot the oath target. I suppose statistically you should only really get like 3 more hits. Is it even worth using the sustain strat on these guys then? Should you just run them as 2 squads of 3? Yeah, if you can message me, are you a subscriber? Are you a member on Twitch, Master Dolphins? Because if you can tell me how to do it, then we can make it work, right? We have a repulsor. We have 6 sanguinary guard with blades. We have 3 sanguinary guard with spears, and then we have the 10 stern guard. So I think the 10 stern guard are probably going to be with the sanguinary priest to get the +1 to wound. The chaplain is probably going to be in the impulsor with the blade guard. The captains are going to be leading the sanguinary guard, the 6 and the 3. Mephiston's obviously on his own, lieutenant's on his own. And then the chaplain with the jump pack will be leading the 5 jump intercessors. I don't know if I feel 5 jump intercessors is valuable enough in Angelic Inheritors, to be honest with you. Typically, they're still only strength 4. +1 to wound helps, but strength 4, even with +1 to wound, is somewhat weak. The 2x3D values uppy downy, but it also makes it harder for your opponent to shoot them, and it also lets you put them in different positions. It forces your opponents to split fire if you bring them in 2 different units. I might try that, because I've just been running mine blindly as 6s. And I usually bring mine down as 6s, and then I very rarely get the opportunity to pick them back up, because my opponents typically shoot them off the board, right? So Blade Guard with +1 to wound, I guess that makes some sense. Assault Intercessors with +1 to wound, I think, is lower value. The Repulsor is carrying what? The 10 Stern Guard and the Sanguinary Priest? Okay. They are only strength 4, which I think is kind of weak. This is, and then where's the shooting at? So we've got a Repulsor, we've got 6 Plasma Inceptors, and that is it. Yeah, okay. So if you haven't watched my video, because I have made videos about Angelic Inheritors and lots of videos about them, they thrive on somewhere in the region of 700 or 800 or even 900 points of shooting, right? The best ever performance, as far as I'm aware anyway, right? The best ever performance of Angelic Inheritors was at LVO by Jack, right? Where he came 3rd place with the Inheritors detachment, right? What was it? 8 wins, 1 loss. And remember, this detachment was brand new, so maybe everybody didn't know how to play against it. But if we look at what he had in his list, double Vindicator tank, so that's 350 points of shooting. 9 Inceptors, 350 plus 360, 710 shooting. A Devastator squad led by Librarian, was it not? Yeah. That's 185, so 7, 10 plus 185, 895 points of shooting. Yeah, 800. So the best ever tournament performance of Angelic Inheritors, had 895 points of shooting in it, right? This list has this, I think. 240 plus 180, so it was 420. Hey, 420! So you're about 500 points shy of shooting to make this list work. I suppose you could argue the Stern Guard or a shooting unit, but I feel like Stern Guard can be a shooting unit if your detachment lets them be a shooting unit. If you can give them ignore cover, if you can give them an extra point of AP, then I can get on board with them being a shooting unit. If you can't give them ignore cover and an extra point of AP, they are not a shooting unit, because the second you shoot an enemy unit that's got cover, they're saving on 2s or 3s. Like any elite unit, they're saving on 2s or 3s. And then when they're saving on that it doesn't matter you've got some devastating wounds, you just won't do enough damage. So I would argue that this list needs a hell of a lot more shooting. The Assault Intercessors are not that great, honestly, in my opinion. At strength 4. You could even argue Blade Guard at strength 5 are not superly great in this detachment. And you are attaching a hell of a lot of characters here, right? I get this detachment gets better with a lot of with characters, that is a thing. But you don't need as many. You don't need to how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 characters. I'm running this detachment, and I've got 4 characters, right? And I've got in the list that I'm running, I've had 4 wins, 1 loss, and the loss that I had this week on stream was literally the last roll of the dice. So this, he had to make a 7-inch charge and then kill the unit. If he fails either of those things, I win the game. And I think I possibly could have done something different in turn 5 to win the game anyway. So I'm on a I'm almost on a 5-game win streak with Inheritors with 3 less characters. So I would say too many characters, not enough shooting. Strength 4 doesn't excite me in this detachment because Liberator Assault Group changes a lot of breakpoints, right? And what I mean by that is like Strength 6 with +1 to wound is a hell of a lot better than Strength 4 with +1 to wound. Because it means like if you're fighting against like enemy Terminators or enemy elites, suddenly you become 3s or 4s or even 2s to wound, right? Like if you're Assault Intercessors with +1 to wound into enemy Terminators, you're actually wounding on 2s. Whereas in like this detachment, Assault Intercessors, even with your Chaplain +1 to wound, you're still wounding on 4s. No, sorry, you're still wounding on 4s. And you have less attacks in this detachment as well. So it's like in Liberator Assault Group, 5 Assault Intercessors with a Chaplain, 25 attacks wounding on 2s. This detachment, it'll be like 20 attacks wounding on 4s. Like, it's massively different. So I really dislike... I actually kind of dislike Bladeguard as well in Angelic Inheritors. Like, I went to a tournament with Bladeguard in Angelic Inheritors and I ended up playing against Knights. And Bladeguard into Knights is literally wounding on 6s all the time. I mean, since then they've changed Armigers, so I would have been wounding the Armigers on 5s. But into any Big Knight, I'm wounding on 6s. And if you're wounding on 6s, even if you have +1 to wound, which I did have, because I did have a Chaplain with my Bladeguard, they're still shit, right? Like, you're wounding on 5s, yes, you're re-rolling 1s, but you're still only wounding on 5s. So the few 1s that you get, you re-roll them and you barely get any more 5s. You get like 1 or 2 more. And it's just like Bladeguard +1 to wound. Sorry. Yeah, Bladeguard +1 to wound, re-rolling 1s of wounds. They're still shit against Knights. And you could argue they're still probably pretty shit against Death Guard because it's going to be the same thing. You're always going to be wounding on... I mean, I guess Death Guard, toughness 9, you might be wounding on 4s. But then, I guess when you're up close in combat in Death Guard, you sort of get melted anyway. So yeah, I think you need to have a think about this for Angelic Inheritors. I mean, you're a channel member, right? So I can literally just show you that slide, and you can go look at it, right? Like I'll just put the slide in. I see you in the chat, Dante. There's a slide. Just click that link in chat. Should take you straight into the slides. That is, as far as I'm aware, the best ever tournament performance with Angelic Inheritors, right? You can just look at the slides. Cool. All right. I try to not just copy the strongest lists, right? Like, I try to put my own spin on the strongest lists, but then I've been playing Angelic Inheritors like a bunch. Like I shift when I first changed from, like, I had a really good solid Liberator Assault Group tournament where I was super close to going 4-1, and if you've ever done 4-1 in a tournament, that's 4 wins, 1 loss. I actually think that's really hard to do. So I was like 1 dice roll away from doing a 4-1 tournament with Liberator Assault Group, and I was feeling really good about that. And I changed to Angelic Inheritors. I honestly want to say I lost like 5, 6, 7 games in a row, and I was just like, I do not understand how you're supposed to play Angelic Inheritors. I'm doing really badly with it. I'm losing. Do I just go back to Liberator Assault Group? So I try not to just copy other people's lists from online, but maybe try and take inspiration, try and see what they're doing, trying to make, what are they doing that I'm not doing? What units do I keep seeing included in the Angelic Inheritors lists that I don't have? You know, like... So, I mean, I guess that's why I'm here, and that's why you guys subscribe to me. But yeah, I would definitely, I definitely feel like Strength 4 and 5 as a base in Angelic Inheritors is pretty bad. That's why I think that the Sangre Guard are with the Captain in Angelic Inheritors are so much better, because they're Strength 7, and Strength 7 just means that if you can give them +1 to wound, they actually become really useful. But Strength 5 as a base is pretty poor. There's not really easy ways to get additional strength on the Bladeguard that in Angelic Inheritors. And I was actually running Outriders as well, who are obviously Strength 5, AP 1, 2 damage in Angelic Inheritors. I didn't like them either. I just didn't think they did enough. Like, Outriders and Liberators, you know, strength 7 AP 1 2 damage. I think they're pretty great for 80 points. Like, you could easily just put 3 units Outriders in there, because it's like they'll do a lot of killing with strength 7 -1 2 damage for 80 points. Like, that's really good. But in Inheritors, I just didn't rate it at all. Just doesn't seem like there's enough strength there. Maybe I'm spoiled playing Liberator Assault Group, right? Because when you're playing Liberator Assault Group, you can literally take any shitto cheap unit. Like, you can even just take scouts with knives and go, I'm going to charge these shitto scouts with knives into an armiger, and they'll still do a bunch of damage, right? Like, that's just what happens, because they're like strength 6 knives, AP 1. It's not horrible into an armiger. And like a unit of scouts gets like bonkers number of attacks, right? Scouts with knives. I think it's like 20 attacks. Yeah, it would be. It would be like, well, 21. The Chainsword has the same profile. So, like, a unit of scouts, you just throw them into an armiger. 21 attacks, hitting on 3s. I guess you're still wounding on 5s, but you know. So you almost make 5 saves. You make the armiger take 5 saves. So the scouts can do some damage. I mean, it's not great, but I mean, if you're strength 4, you just do no damage, right? Because you're strength 4, you would have 5 less attacks. 15 times 0.66, you'd have 5 less attacks. You'd only wound on 6s. So going from 4.5 saves, you go down to... So in Liberator Assault Group, your scouts do 3 times the damage. Just because from that +2 strength, right? So just show... Yeah, like, so a scout unit making a charge in Liberator Assault Group is 3 times better than an Angelic Inheritors. So I guess if you just look at that, that's how much difference 2 points of strength makes, right? It's bonkers. Alright, we're looking at the last list for tonight, Nugushan. We're trying to 3D craft something with lag. Okay, so we've got Lamartez, Captain of the Jump Pack, another Captain of the Jump Pack, a Chaplain of the Jump Pack, and a Combi Weapon Lieutenant. We've got Intercessors, we've got 10 Death Company. I guess they'll be with Lamartez. We've got 5 Death Company. I guess they will be unled. We've got the 6 Plasma Scepters. You've got 6 Angry Guard with Spears. You've got another 6 with Spears. You've got another 6 with Spears. That's an interesting choice. I guess that means you can always play the +1 to wound strat on the Death Company. It's not the worst idea. Unit of Scouts, a Brutalis Dreadnought, and a Redemptor Dreadnought. Okay, interesting. Not many people take Dreadnoughts, especially not the melee ones. I think they're overcosted for what they bring. I honestly don't think either of them are massively competitive. But let's see what he's saying. So, we're trying to 3D craft something. The buffs to the Sanguinary Guard Spears, I want to try something different. Ended up... oh, this is a Stormlance list. Oh, right, okay. Using the excellent advance and fallback and charge rule with the buffs to wounding like lethals or lance. Every melee option has lance or lethals for punching up. I went with the Redemptors because I love the model, and it's a shooting platform that I can leverage the advance and charge. I think if you advance, most of your guns can't shoot on the Redemptor, but there is a stratagem that lets you shoot, make all your weapons assault. So I guess that could be okay. It's the same thing with the Brutalis. I love the model. With the advance and charge, maybe I can close the gap faster. I mean, yes, you can close the gap faster, but none of the Brutalis weapons are assault. I say that, I have to... I'm questioning myself, but I feel like nothing on that Dreadnought is assault. I just played that Dreadnought to a tournament. Yeah, so nothing is assault. Is the Redemptor anything assault? I don't think anything on the Redemptor is assault either. No, none of the guns are assault. So one of your Dreadnoughts can fire, but you're going to have to pay a CP for that if you advance. The biggest downfall of the list is the lack of AP. It's mostly AP2. And you have no high strength shooting, yeah. I don't want to use Vindicators. Mostly, I want your opinion on something other than Lag or Angelic Inheritors. The funny thing is, Stormlands can give Inceptors sustained 1 like Angelic Inheritors. Instead of uppy downy, we have a reactive move. So, based on what I've been saying in the stratagem, or based on what I've been saying in the stream, I actually don't think the sustained strat on Inceptors is all that good. I think I would prefer it on, like, Hellblasters or Sternguard. However, the sustain strat from Stormlance is the same stratagem that lets you... Because it's the same stratagem that lets you change weapons into Assault. If you're not... I only know this because I played Stormlance at a tournament recently. But I believe it's this one, right? 1 unit from your army until end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped in a model have the Assault ability. If such a weapon already has Assault, then it becomes sustained. So you'd then be choosing to give the plasmas and sustained, or you'd be choosing to let one of the dreadnoughts shoot. So I played this exact dreadnought, the Brutalis, in the Stormlance detachment. I felt like it was okay. I never thought it was amazing. Advance and charge on all the units of Sanguinary Guard, I guess, is fine. The +1 to wound and the 2-up to hit will help them a lot, actually. So the Sanguinary Guard become much better in this detachment. Lamartes plus the Death Company, lethal hits. I'm forgetting, though. I don't think this detachment has a +1 to wound strat. Oh, it has Lance. No, because you can only use that on mounted. Yeah, you have a fallback. Yeah, so there's no +1 to wound in this detachment. So you've got the spears, you've got Lance from the Sanguinary Guard spears. You've got a Chaplain with a jump pack leading 5 Death Company to give them +1 to wound. Lamartes 10 are getting lethal hits. You've got the Inceptors, you've got the Dreadnoughts that can shoot. You've got the Scouts. Interesting. You've got the sticky objectives. You've got the combi weapon lieutenant. Obviously, this detachment has a very powerful... The thing that makes this detachment strong is probably the fact that you've got, like, Windswift Evasion, which is... No, that's not... Yeah. After your opponent finishes a move, infantry units can make a normal move of up to 6. So they come in to charge the Death Company, you say no, you move 6 inches away. They come in to charge the Sanguinary Guard, you say no, you move 6 inches away. You also have fallback on charge, army-wide. That's the main rule of the detachment. You're able to declare a charge in a turn you fell back. And you get advance and charge. So all the units of Sanguinary Guard get fallback and charge. All the units of Death Company get fallback and charge, assuming they're led by characters, because otherwise they're fall into the Black Rage and they can't do that. You've got sticky objectives. The change to Sanguinary Guard makes this detachment much more viable, I think. Like, Sanguinary Guard hitting on 2s and getting constant +1 to wound, because I don't think you could really use them before in this detachment effectively. So I think that helps them ever so much, probably. I think this would be worth a try, but I can't see how this would not just be better to just ditch those 2 Dreadnoughts and put in 2 Vindicator tanks. I know you said you didn't like them, but I think that is going to be ultimately stronger because the Dreadnoughts don't offer anything, right? The Brutalis is going to be wandering across the board. Even if you get a 6 on your advance roll, it moves up 14 inches. So it's going to be standing in no man's land. It's got no invulnerable save. It's just going to get blown off the table. The Redemptor... I mean, I guess -1 damage. It's got a bit of anti-infantry elite shooting. But I just think you'd be, I just think you'd be better off having two Vindicator tanks, or even if you don't want Vindicator tanks, 2 Lancers would probably be better. 2 Ballistus Dreadnoughts would be better. Like, these things just don't get played for a reason, man. And the reason is not that people don't want to play them. The reason is that they suck competitively, right? Like, as soon as we see a tournament win with a Brutalis Dreadnought, or a yeah, I mean, I think the Redemptor's too expensive and the Brutalis just probably doesn't offer enough. Like, it just doesn't offer enough in melee, right? Like, it's only got like 6 attacks. And they're only like AP2. I mean, I had one in my tournament list. I thought it was... So I was running Ultramarines, where Ultramarines just made all its ranged weapons were like twin... +1 to wound, rerolling everything, because I double oath the moment, and it still wasn't good enough. So realistically, like, the thing I think about the Brutalis Dreadnought, right? Like, just do the math, right? Statistically, it's got 6 hits. It hits on 3s. So you drop 2 of them. You know, you got 6 dice. You roll a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6. So 2 misses instantly. So you get 4. So you hit 4 times. Well, strength 12 is decent. Let's just say you can 100% that. You wound every roll. They got 4 saves to make. If they have anything like a good save, like a 4-up infun, they pass 2 of them. So realistically, this thing does 6 damage. Right? 2 3s. A 3 and a 3. If you're fighting Deathwing Knights or something, it kills 1 fucking Terminator. It costs 160 points. It kills 1 Terminator. You're playing Death Guard. Again, it kills 1 Terminator. It costs 160 points. Like, it's just not... It's just not there, man. I don't know what they would need to change, but they need to change something. Like, it needs to hit on 2s at least, or it needs to have a couple more attacks. It just doesn't do enough damage for 160 points. You know, if you compare that to what the Sangre Guard are offering now, you know, in Liberator Assault Group, what you'd have 15 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 8, yes, that's less, but it's AP 3 2 damage. But it's 15 2 against 6 3, right? It's just not in the same ballpark. And 3 Sangre Guard are like, what, 25 points cheaper? 35 points cheaper? Like, it's just I don't know. Brutalis Dreadnoughts. I like the intention. I think it could work with Stormlands. I think all the unit choices are good. I think the Dreadnought choices suck. And on that bombshell, where I've just said all Dreadnoughts, all melee Dreadnoughts in 10th edition suck, let's call it a night. Thanks so much for watching, my friends. I think I'm going to be playing that new Terminator detachment on Wednesday night, because I was outside today. I braved the weather in Scotland to get those Terminators that I was making last night sprayed. So they will not be grey for the Wednesday night stream. Look at that, they're sprayed. Had a good afternoon outside, actually. I mean, they're gonna be bright red with no other colours on them. But hey, better that than grey, right? Slay the grey. Enjoy your evening. Thanks so much for watching. It's sad to see that Dreads... do you know what? Dreads will be back, dude. Because 9th edition, 8th edition, Blood Angels love to field Dreadnoughts. So many armies were backed up with Dreadnoughts in Blood Angels. They worked so well. They will be back. Yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a great evening. I'll see you Wednesday night. And there'll be a new tactics video, as always, on Friday. Thanks again for the super chats and the memberships tonight. It's always appreciated. Take care, guys. Good night.